Hello, everybody. We're going to get started in just a minute. So we want to make sure that we've got everything set up here. So just give me a minute. And we are streaming in a couple of different locations. So that's always fun. But again, just give me 1 minute and we will have everything ready to go. If you are new here, we like to know where you're calling in from. So go ahead and drop in the chat where you're coming from. We absolutely want to know where you're learning from, etc. So we've got a couple things going on. There we go. All right, let's see. Welcome everybody. If you can, turn on your camera. I'm excited to be here. I just have to hop over here and let's get this out of the way so everyone can see me. Hi guys, how are you? So good. You guys are unmuted as you're coming in the room, so you're going to want to make sure you mute yourself so we don't hear what's going on in the background. Do you know one time we were on an event and this lady came on and they weren't muted and her husband got in this massive domestic right on a live event and no one could find the mute button. Nobody could find who it was. So just a warning, you might want to do that. Okay guys, I just have to keep an eye on the waiting room here over in Zoom. We're also on YouTube, we're in Facebook. We are kind of everywhere today. So give me a minute here just to deal with the waiting room. And again, drop in the chat where you're calling in from because I'd absolutely love to know. We do have people unmuted, so let's find them and mute them. There we go. And I just need to change my name because, well, now, I want to just deal with a couple of housekeeping tips. We had some super fun stuff going on with tech this week. Thank you, all of you who kept in touch with me, letting me know that you were getting, this link and that link and all the things. How many of you got into the Facebook group? If you did not get in the Facebook group, can you just drop a 1 in the chat just so I can see if that's something that we need to deal with? Because the Facebook group is where we are going to be. Okay, perfect. So let me grab that link for you first. That's the first thing we're going to do. If you guys are on YouTube or you're on Facebook, which you might be, drop Facebook group or FB group in the chat and I will go ahead and get that link to you guys directly after the live. The reason this is important is if you are not VIP, this is where the recordings are going to live, okay? So if you're looking for the recordings and you want to be able to follow up, I just put it in the link. You are in the chat. You guys can see it. It was in your emails. Also, I know a lot of you did not get the emails, and that's because spam is having a heyday with email right now. So if you're brand new to Create Your Empire or Melanie Greenough, I want you guys to know that you most likely have a bunch of communication from me in your spam folder. So if you go ahead and search Create Your Empire or support at shescreatinganempire.com, and I'm going to put that in the chat so that you guys can whitelist this, which means just drag it into your safe folder. Keeping in mind, you guys, you are not muted when you're coming on live, so you're going to want to make sure that you mute yourself. Let me just do that here. There we go. All right, and I'm just going to put the email in the chat so we can take care of all of the housekeeping quickly and get you guys on your way. So I just put the support email, which means that if you go into your actual whatever folder you're using for email, you can search that and it will pull it up if it's in your spam. If you are not receiving emails, I want you to email support and they will make sure that you start to get them. All right, for those of you that are new to me, my name is Melanie Greenough. I am absolutely thrilled to be here. I have been in the online space for over 19 years. I started out as a broke, homeless, single mom. I was going to be a stay-at-home mom. That's what I was going to do. And the man that I was married to had different ideas. And so I ended up in a woman's shelter with my daughter, and she was 1 year old. And I remember going to get a social services check. In Canada, they call it a welfare check. I don't know what they call it where you're from, but basically a government check so I could get an apartment. I had been staying, you can imagine, in a woman's shelter with no locks on the doors. Very, very traumatizing. After being in a completely unsafe situation, going into a place where you now have a child that you're supposed to go to sleep with in a house with no locks on the door. Like, it was extremely hard. And when I sat down with this woman, she treated me like an absolute stain on society. It was so bad. She was basically accusing me. I was the reason that I was there. And it was brutal. And I remember thinking, sitting across, my daughter's on my lap, right? Because my family was far away. My mom was like 14 hours away, which, I'll tell you guys, I'll fill y'all in. Everything turned out fine, so don't worry. A little traumatizing, but it's good. I remember sitting there thinking, never again will my financial future be placed in another human's hands again. And it wasn't about a man or government or anything. It was just this intrinsic thing inside of me that knew that if it was going to be, it was up to me. And so I did end up getting that welfare check, which, by the way, was about, including my child tax credit, $1,100 a month in the most expensive city in Canada. So I had to figure out how to raise a child. I went back to school. I actually became a pastor. I went and did a whole bunch of stuff. And then, my mom and I opened a business together. And why am I telling you guys all this? Because I want you to hear that you don't start out at the top. You really, and the journey is crazy. So my mom and I opened a business. She got a business loan for $18,000. We bought the business for $15,000, which means we had no operating capital at all. Not a stitch, $3,000, nothing. And my mom and I went to work. I started running the office. She went out the first day. It was so funny. The guy that we were sitting with, she went out the first day to go on a sales call, and she came back with 50% deposit. And this guy's business, he'd had the business for 45 years. It was a staple in the community. I actually think the company was there longer, like 60 years. And so, but he was struggling. Like, he was we picked up the company for $15,000, right? And we're talking, there was no email list, there was no client list, there was nothing. There was just the work that they had done in referrals. So my mom comes back with 50% deposit, and the guy looks at us and goes, okay, you guys are going to be just fine. But you know why we were just fine? Do you know why we made it? Well, number one, I come from a long line of very resourced women. How many of you can relate to that? You come from a long line of resourceful women, right? Like, I absolutely love that. So, that was number one. Number two, it was do or die. Like, we didn't really have a whole bunch of options. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, we were, everybody wave and smile just for a second before I forget, because I want everybody to see that we're here together. Awesome. Okay, so it was do or die. We didn't have a cushion. We didn't come from a wealthy family. We had to make it happen. And the catalyst for that was a desire to have a better life for my child, and she wanted a better life for her child, just like my grandmother and the grandmother before that, right? Wanted a better life for our children. How many of you can relate to that? Maybe you don't have kids yet, but you want to, and you want to have a better life for them. Or maybe you're the person that's in business and you have a team or an organization and you want a better life for them than the one that you found or struggled with, right? So I believe that all of us intrinsically have a desire for more. I do believe that the human spirit is meant for expression and greater expansion, okay? So that's something I firmly believe. I'm just going to switch to speaker view here, you guys, just so I can make sure that, can you guys all, am I main screen to you, or do you guys see the gallery?
Gallery.
Okay, let me just switch would you like me to switch it? Or do you guys want to see the gallery? Want me to switch it? Okay, it's hard when I'm like this big, right? So let me just get going here, maybe. I love it. Zoom's moved everything around, which is super amazing. Until you gotta try to find your, there we go. Let me see. Here we go. Spotlight for everyone. How about now? Okay. All right. So you guys can, Brenda, hi. Okay. So many of you I haven't seen in so long. Okay. So I'm telling you all of this just to let you guys know that when I got started in the online business space, I was also in a place of necessity like I was the first time. So I started the company with my mom, and then I also decided that after doing that for many, many years, that I wanted to have my life back. How many of you can relate to the feeling of you want to have more money, but with more time also, right? Like people are looking for a way to buy back their time. I mean, that's essentially, I have no other way to say it, right? So we want to make more money, but we definitely want to make sure that our time isn't getting eaten up. I missed you too, Rick. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be back with you guys. Trust me, 2026 is going to be amazing. Okay, so I was introduced to network marketing for the first time, and I started in a company. And again, I had a crazy desire to change my life. Did I know what I was doing? Not a clue. Did I know I didn't even know really, you guys, how to run an email. Now I build websites. Like, what happened? So at that time, I was making about $33,000 a year, no benefits, couldn't take a vacation if I tried. Thank God for my mom. She could sell like a maniac. So she would win these trips, and we would get to go on these trips once a year for 3 days. Changed my life because I got to see, like, we went to England, we went to Ireland, we went to Germany, just places that I would never have been able to go. Even though it was for a short time, it opened my eyes to what's possible. So if you're a note taker, I want you to write down the first thing is, it opened my eyes to what's possible. What is possible? So when I started to see that there was a different way to live, a different way to be, I got pretty excited because I'm like, wait a second, you mean that I could like actually travel, actually do these different things, that life was possible even though at that time I didn't have a ton of money. Okay, so fast forward, I get started an online business, and I will never forget the day that somebody, you guys, I mean, if you've never been in network marketing, there's a little system where you show a video and you call an upline for support, a connection call, somebody that knows more than you most likely. So I get on the call with this woman, and it's like late at night. I had, at that time, $65,000 a month in overhead before I made a dime. 44 employees, okay? Can you imagine? I also was pastoring a church, inner city youth ministry, 3 foster kids under the age of 7, 2 dogs, my own kid, single mom, dead tired, so busy, but excited about possibility for my life. You guys, I really don't understand at that time. Mostly it had to be the grace of God. That's why I've lived with grace tattooed on my arm, right? I don't even know how I was functioning at this point. But the reason I was doing foster parenting was because I learned about these groups of kids that would get into awful situations. Now imagine where I came from, right? Ended up in a women's shelter. So now there's these sibling groups of children that get separated. So their parents have a meltdown or a breakdown. They have this traumatic situation happen, and then they get separated from each other. And I'm like, that cannot be real. Is that real? And I found out it was, so I became a foster mom so I could take in these sibling groups. I did emergency removal. They would come to my house. Okay, so you guys can imagine, very, very busy. Somebody introduces me to a network marketing opportunity. No idea what I was doing, not a clue. But I had an uncommon desire. That's the second note. An uncommon desire to change my life. Now, I want you guys to know that today we're going to go through, there's 4 promises for this masterclass. Today, we're going to go through getting over imposter syndrome so you guys can actually get your millionaire breakthrough. Is that okay with you guys? Would it be okay if I showed you how to actually get breakthrough today so that you can step into the version of yourself that can absolutely change everything? Okay, cool. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. Now, and then number 2, I'm going to show you is a CEO day, and in the middle, we're going to have a little meditation. So just you guys be ready for shifting. Okay, so here I am. Get started in network marketing. No idea what I'm doing. Uncommon desire to change my life. Uncommon desire. Now, I realize at that time, I had to give something up to go up. I couldn't imagine I have a full cup of water and I was going to add in a little side business. right? Like a little side. Do you think I had time for a side business? No, I didn't have time for a side business. So I had to take something out. What was it? Well, I was unwilling to sacrifice time with my kids. So I wasn't going to take that out. And I was unwilling to sacrifice church. So I wasn't going to take that out. But I could step away from the women's ministry because they didn't actually need me, right? Like I could go to church and do my thing, but they didn't really need me volunteering at the church 3 days a week. So I backed that down. I also did little things like stop going out with friends. I stopped doing that kind of stuff to make room for this little side hustle. My little side hustle, I replaced my income in 5 weeks. And looking back on that, because I have now worked literally with hundreds of thousands of people globally. This is like, you guys fast forward, broke, homeless, single mom, over 80 million in global sales, okay? Like $50 million. Regina, I know she's been around for a hot minute, 6 years, is that right? Yeah. $50 million paid off in our community of debt by families who've gotten engaged with my training, okay? So 15,000 lives rescued. 15,000 lives rescued from women and children from slavery, okay? So here I am. I'm like, no idea what I'm doing, not a clue. But I look back and you know what I had? The tenacity. I had the crazy idea that I could do it. So if you're taking notes and you're ready for a breakthrough, I want you to write down the crazy idea I could do it. What if it could work for me? What if? So maybe you're a 0 going to 6 figures. Maybe you're 6 figures going to 7. Maybe you're 7 going to 8. Wherever you are, we have to first believe what's possible. We have to believe it's even possible for us to do that. And the fundamental thing that I did was I suspended disbelief. I was able to suspend my disbelief. Now, at that time, I had no training. Like, this isn't like, I read Think and Grow Rich and I knew what to do. No, I just naturally suspended my disbelief because I believe that whatever I set out to do, I can be successful at. That's a fundamental belief that I hold about myself. Why? Because I've proved it, just like you've proved it. So I want to take a minute because this is what, and I know there's guys on here, but I'm going to talk to the ladies because, I'm just going to talk to them for a minute. And guys, you too, pay attention. What have you done in your past where you figured it out? You just figured it out. I don't know. You pay your rent or your mortgage every month, right? You buy groceries. You feed your kids. You probably have friendships that you built. There is stuff that you have learned to figure out in life. Listen, there's no instruction manual. Nobody came along and said, hey, live like this unless you had really good parents. Even with really good parents, there's still no instruction manual. So you have figured a lot of stuff out in your life. So the question is, why then would you allow disbelief to enter into a business decision? If you're trying to grow a business. If you're here for breakthrough for other reasons, that's fine too. Just think about what you're trying to do and ask yourself, why would you allow? Because you are the gatekeeper. If you've been around me for any length of time, you know that I say if you can hold it in your hand, you can hold it where? Or if you can hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. But if you can't hold it in your mind, if you can't hold the idea, the desire in your mind, how would you ever be able to hold it in your hand? So there's no room for doubt or fear when you're holding it in your mind. And we're going to dive into that here a little further. So just to catch you guys up. So here I am. I get started in network marketing, replaced my income in about 4 weeks, 6 weeks. Company doesn't pay me. Everyone else would have quit. My friends started telling me that it was a scam, that network marketing was a scam, that this and that, yada, yada, yada. You guys know all the stuff. If you go to step out to be a coach, they're going to say, who do you think you are? If you step out to do network marketing, who do you think you are? You go to open a restaurant, why would you ever do that? You go to do anything different than the thing you're doing right now, they are all going to ask you, why? Why? Now, if you have people around you that aren't like that, you're blessed and highly favored. But I promise you, most people, when you go to do something that's different, especially if it's radically different than what they know you for, they are going to try to draw you back. Not because they don't want you to win, not because they're bad humans, but because they want to keep you safe. So when I started network marketing, it was no different for me. People tried to get me, you got two businesses. Why are you doing that? Da, 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 da. But I had a bigger dream. Note number 4, I had a bigger dream for my life. And as a matter of fact, I believe that the dream was given to me by source. I believe God gave me the dream. I believe that every single one of us has a desire for greatness in our hearts. Do you guys think that's true? If you guys think it's true, yeah, drop a T for truth in the chat. I love your guys', I love when you guys play along, by the way. It makes me so happy. But, I had a desire. I had this dream. I had this uncommon desire in my heart. And I knew that it wasn't like I woke up one day and I was like, oh, I want to be rich. It was in me. But that's because what I've learned since then is that spirit is meant for what? You are, by the way, expansion. Regina already knows. Regina could teach this class. That's how long she's been hanging out with me for. Okay, that's literally how long she's been hanging out with me for. And you should have seen where she was when she started. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's the thing, you guys. Spirit is meant for expansion and greater expression. We, as humans, get stuck because we believe that we are here on this earth on a human journey. You are in a human body, but you are on a spiritual journey. Those things are different. Being on a spiritual journey means that you are meant for expansion and greater expression. Now, I'm going to use the word God. You can use whatever word you want. Universe, source, I really don't care. It's all the same thing. I promise you. There is somewhere that you come from, and there's somewhere you're going back to, and it's not some dude in the sky that's keeping, record of your wrongs. That is not the truth. The truth is that love, the Bible actually says God is love. Do you guys know that? Who knows that? Wave at me if you already know that. And if you're like, why is she talking about the Bible? Hang tight. I promise you it's the best success book on the planet. But the book says that God is love. And do you know what also the book says? It says that love does what? Keeps no record of wrongs. It doesn't judge. It is not harsh. It is not critical. It only sees the good. It hopes for the good. It prays for the good. It is the good. It does. No, Tammy, love is not blind. Love is I love you, Tammy. I'm so glad you're here, by the way. But it kind of makes you blind in the fact that you don't look so much at people's, stuff, right? So I guess that's exactly how it is. But now here's the second truth I want to work with you guys on today is that you're not separate. I know you've been taught that you're supposed to seek God outside of yourself, but the truth is, how many of you have found answers ever outside of yourself? Can I tell Julie how she's supposed to live? Can I tell Diane how she's supposed to live? Can I tell Michelle how she's supposed to live? No. I can set an example with my life of how I think is right, but you guys might have a completely different idea. But see, Tammy just said born in his divine image. No, you are his image. You are it. You are not separate from. You literally are. A drop of water is not separate from the ocean. A drop of water, where does it go? When the water comes down into the sky, where does the water go? Back up again, doesn't it? Isn't that how water works? It evaporates, it goes back up into the sky, it hits the ground, it does its job, it goes to the ocean or the rivers or the lakes, and it goes back up again. That's the same thing that happens with spirit. Okay, so I today want to talk about how we get the breakthrough, how I actually went from being a broke, homeless, single mom to building a couple companies to pastoring a church, and then I felt a nudge to go and retire from pastoring and move into business as a ministry. How many of you have ever wondered if you were supposed to be helping and impacting more people? Give me a wave if you're like, you want to help, you want to impact more people, you want to make your life count, you want to do something that matters, right? Well, I knew that being at the church was good. I could help people, but I also knew that God had a bigger stage for me. So if you feel, look at you guys, yes, me, right? Because you have that desire inside of you, you are born for more. You are born for more. Purpose. I love it. Purpose. Okay. So here's what happened for me. I had to give up the ideas of who I was to move into the idea of who I could be. Do you see, there was a moment when I started in my network marketing journey, which I call my online journey. I started in that journey and I was moving away from my traditional business and I had retired from the church. And in one day, my daughter, who was 6 at the time, phoned me bawling, absolutely in tears. I'm driving down the road in my little SUV and, I'm working at my online business brand new. I mean, I maybe been doing it 2 weeks. I'd enrolled 14 people, something like that. So I was on the phone with her. She's on speaker and she's just bawling. And I said, baby, what's the matter? And my daughter and I are like best friends. Like we are close. She said, Mommy, she's bawling. She goes, Mommy, Daddy told me that you love money more than you love me. And I thought I was going to throw up. I'm like, pardon me? I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that the very thing that I was doing to help my daughter have a better life, the very thing I was doing was the thing that they were using against me to convince her that I didn't love her anymore. I was just sick. And then I promised her that wasn't true, got off the phone, and guess what? Somebody from the church phones. Guess what they said? They said, the church is saying that you love money more than you love God. And I'm like, what? I'm literally doing this to better my life and help people, which we're going to talk about mission here in a minute, and to help people who also want to better their lives. And I'm doing it literally in his service. And you're telling me that I love money more than I love God? Yeah, you can't serve mammon. You can't serve money and God at the same time. How many of you have heard that before? That money is the root of all evil, right? Well, I'm going to tell you guys, and I want you guys to catch the energy of this. I was driving down the road and I started to cry and I just literally slammed my fist on the dashboard and I said, I will not get back in my box. Like I'm talking, it was visceral. I was so not going to let these small-minded, small-mannered people who had zero faith, zero ability to see the future, did not have my calling, did not have my anointing, did not have my vision, and they sure as the weren't going to pay my bills. Tell me what I valued. That was it. That was the day. I called that the moment I smashed my box. I literally, no. Now, I want to, and I shared that with you because I want you guys to understand that your identity is made up of a whole bunch of pieces. So we're going to go through, is that okay if we go through that right now? Right? Is that okay? Okay, cool. So your box, the box that you live in, and we all have them. I'm in a box right now, right? I have my identity. I have my idea of what I am right now. Now, I have learned that my identity is fluid and ever expanding. But at the time, my identity was more fixed and permanent. So let me give you an idea. You have a floor that you stand on in your box. That floor is the foundations that have been passed to you by your parents, right? So some of you were raised with faith, some of you weren't. Some of you were raised with poverty mindset. And by the way, people can have money and still have a poverty mindset. That's very possible. Poverty mindset is not necessarily anything to do with money. It has everything to do with energy in life, right? The people that when you say, how was your sleep? Oh, not very good. How's your day? Well, I've been better. How's your health? Well, I got this ache and that ache. That's all poverty mindset. If your answer isn't super fantastic, I'm amazing, life is expanding, let's go, there's some poverty mindset in there, okay? So that foundation is also most likely family and generational. So if you have a judgmental family, you might find yourself being judgmental. Or rebellious, also possibility, right? If you have a family that believes in education, that would be another foundation. If you have a family that believes that education is the most important thing you can do, that's part of your foundation, right? You might, if you don't have an education, you might feel stupid in the room around people that have an education. This might show up in things like, well, I can't do that because I don't have a degree. I love it. Somebody on LinkedIn asked me, what is your financial credibility? Where did you go to school? What formal education have you have? I'm like, let me think. 50 years of figuring it out. Is that good enough for you? 80 million in global sales? I don't know. Millionaire? Wait, what are you asking me? Right? But and I don't take offense to that because her foundation clearly is what? Formal education. That's clearly a part of her foundation. Now, I've helped $50 million get paid off in debt in our community. I'd say that's something. But to her, that doesn't count. And you have ideas like that in your own life, and they're the foundation of what you're standing on. Are you guys all with me so far? If you're with me, give me a wave. Okay. Now, let's talk about the walls. The walls are things like what your friends say about you, what the world has said about you, what your teachers taught you, what your teachers say about you. Some of you were told you were very, very smart. Some of you were told you were very, very shy. Some of you were told that you were excellent at math and terrible at reading. Some of you were told you were good singers and bad dancers. And some of you were told you were fat or skinny or short or tall or loud and obnoxious or whatever you were told. And you embodied that as the truth. I have to ask you guys, I love it. Resigned as a teacher over here. Oh, Jen, once a teacher, always a teacher. I wonder what you're going to teach next. Okay, so question for you. Look at that. I was told I'd never be anything because of my laugh and my humor. Can you imagine telling a child that their laugh was the thing that was going to stop them from success? That's a painful thing to hear. You guys drop yours in the chat. Drop yours in the chat. What was something you were told that you find rearing its ugly head, right? You hear it, and you're like, what? Why do I believe that? Or where's that coming from? I can see you guys typing, so I'll wait for your guys' answers. But the truth is, we all have these things, right? So I know that people often say to kids, oh, they're shy. Well, let me ask you guys a question. Look at that. Julie says, you have to be good at math to be successful. That I'm stubborn and stupid, Naomi. Vivian, big boned girl. Can you imagine? Right? I was told I would end up just like my mom. My mom was a drug addict and jailed. Wow. Susan, why do you think that you're always going to get what you want? I was told my energy and personality made me a terrible teacher. I would never be good enough for true love or success. I was told not to smile so much because I did not come across as professional enough. Can't do anything worthwhile. Why do you always try to create new businesses? Too loud and too talkative. Can you guys feel that energy? I can feel that in my gut. And then what we do is we embody it as part of our identity. Even if our logical mind knows it's not true. Even if Regina knows that smiling too much isn't unprofessional, she's still going to, if she's not aware of it, and actually create a new identity around smiling, she's actually going to fall into the trap. I was told that I don't work up to my potential. Yeah, don't live up to your potential, right? Okay, here's the thing. all of these ideas, frameworks, the stuff that we've been handed, none of it is true. Ask yourself the question, is that true? The second question, who gave that to me? Who told me that was true? Who told me it was true? Who told me I had to be a certain way to get to a certain place? Ooh, a bird in the hand is worth more than two in the bush. And what I heard is settle. Well, that is settling. Don't chase your dreams, right? A bird in your hand is more than two in the bush means that you shouldn't chase your dream because you might lose your bird. Wow. I am too direct. Yeah. Okay, so you guys got the thing now, right? You got the thing that you've been told, that you've put into your identity. Look at that. Brenda says, I'm an amputee and luckily I've embraced my new normal with vigor. Yes, but we are going to make it so that your identity is not an amputee. We are going to make it so that you are perfectly whole, exactly as you sit right now, right? Exactly as you sit right now, perfectly whole. Just because you're lacking one limb? What? You are a spirit being. This, let's say it's a hand. This, if I lose my hand, do I lose anything of my spirit? If I lose my money, how many of you know people who have gone bankrupt? Don't have to, some of it might be you guys. Don't have to tell me, right? How many of you have made decisions that you feel like were bad decisions? You've started businesses and they didn't turn out the way you wanted. So now you failed at business. Maybe you started a network marketing business or 2 or 3 or 6 and it didn't work out for you. These are all things that we then create as an identity. And here's the problem with that. Every single time we create a portion of our identity or act from it, we create more of the same. So let me ask you this question. Who has been making the decisions in your life up until now? Okay. How many of you are ready seriously? Like, this is a moment of truth. How many of you are seriously ready for a millionaire breakthrough? Like, you are like, I am done. It is time to go. Let's go. Right? And it's okay. I know that there's 7-figure earners on here. Like, I'm talking like whatever your next level is, right? Okay. So, you guys, we're in the right place. So now we have to ask ourselves, if we've been making the decisions the whole time along, we now currently are earning a certain amount of money, living a certain way. What has to change for us to go to the next level? Would it be fair to say, I love it. Tammy says, time to make a new decision. The problem is, Tammy, unless we shift away from our current identity, we're going to keep making the same decisions. Because your identity is the framework for everything you do. It's the framework for what you decide, how you act, how you talk, how you dress, how you walk, and how you, most importantly, feel. When we have those beliefs, those ideas, those opinions about ourselves locked up in our identity, we then execute from that identity. Which means we will, this is why people get to, like, I'm going to talk about, this is why some people make $1,000 a month part-time and that's all they're ever going to make. If I was part-time, I would not be making $1,000 a month. Why? Because I have a millionaire identity. If I was working part-time, I would be making for sure $500,000 a year. For sure. There's no way. It'd be $50,000 a month would probably be the minimum. Okay? So, how did I get there? How did I get to the place of shifting my identity from broke, homeless, single mom? Because you guys understand, I didn't show up like this. Like, I had to rewire the whole deal. I suspended my disbelief, number one. I told you guys this already, right? I suspended my disbelief. I believed it was possible for me. And I'm asking you guys to believe that it's possible for you. Lisa says, it's literally the busiest time of the year for me and I'm so uncomfortable sitting here because I should be in my sewing room, but I'm here. But that is because, and I happen to know this, Lisa, so I'm kind of throwing you under the bus, but that is because Lisa was raised with the same foundation in her identity that if I don't do it, it's not going to get done, and making money is hard. How many of you have that same identity? You have that same belief that you got to work hard for money, right? You got to work hard. You got to earn it. I love you too, Lisa. She's in my Millionaire Breakthru program. That's how I know this. So I'm like, chuck her under the bus. I love you guys. I promise. Okay, so we believe that it's hard to make money. Therefore, what is it? Hard to make money. What if you believed it was easy to make money? What if you believed money came to you easily and frequently from multiple sources on a continuous basis? What if you believed that everything you touched turned to gold? What if you believed that anytime you talked to somebody, they wanted to join you and they referred everyone they knew? What if that was true? I love that. Tracy says, great affirmations. They're not affirmations, they're my identity. And that's where we're going to take you guys today. They started out as affirmations. They started out, I had to convince myself those things were true. If you're in my VIP program, you guys are going to be able to, I'm going to drop those in there for you. There's actually a whole workbook you guys are going to get. But if you're not, you can make up your own, right? Everything I touch turns to gold. Every time I refer somebody, they get started and refer everyone they know. If I was a real estate agent, it doesn't matter what I was doing. I would be the top 1%. Why? Because I have a top 1% identity. That's just who I am. That's just how I roll. But I didn't start out that way. So we're going to get into today how you guys can have that breakthrough in your own mindset. And we've already started, but I'm going to push you a little bit further. What is it? I want you guys to write it down if you're taking notes. If not, just, make a note. Make a note to yourself. What is it that you believe about making money? Write it down. One of the things that's prevalent in business is that you have to take every call. That's a prevalent belief in business. That I have to take every call. If I don't take every call, what are we going to do? Okay. So what do you believe about business? Or about money, about making money. Number 2, on a scale of 1 to 10, how successful do you believe you are? Rate yourself. Drop it in the chat if you want to. 10 being like epic, have no doubt you're going to be a millionaire, multi-millionaire, blah, blah, blah. And 1 being I suck. I suck at this. I suck at life. I suck. Okay. So that number gives me a clue to the current identity that you hold, right? Now, there's one more step to this, and this is the part that's going to be a little bit hard for some of you to kind of get your head around. And that is, whatever's going on in your life right now, financially, in your relationships, in your health, the actual facts of what's going on right now is a result of what you were thinking yesterday. Whatever is happening in your life right now, whatever that is, satisfied or not satisfied, is a result of what you thought yesterday. And what you thought yesterday is a result of how you felt yesterday. Thoughts and feelings are the power fuel to your life. And the basis of that is your identity. So track with me on this. I don't have enough money. Right? I don't have enough money right now. That's what's happening. You want more money. Whatever that is. Some of you have 100 grand and you want $1 million. Some of you have 10, you want 100. It doesn't matter the reference point. The point is you want that millionaire breakthrough, what we're talking about. Okay, so you want that. Okay. So yesterday, your identity did not support a millionaire breakthrough. It didn't. How do I know? You'd already have it. You'd have it already. The results that you currently have came out of a thought process, a decision process that created a feeling. And from that feeling, you acted. Think about this. I'm thirsty. The signal is I'm thirsty. My brain says, get up and go get it. So I have a feeling I'm thirsty. The thought is I need to go get water. That's the action. So I go take the action. Well, what if the feeling is I never have enough money, but my identity doesn't believe I can just go get money? What's the action going to be that I'm going to take? It won't be a positive action. What will it be? Despair, nothing, anxiety, depression, frustration, self-sabotage. I see this in business all the time. I have people coming in my coaching program. They want to make $1 million. They have 100% ability to do it because everyone on this call does. Everyone. Not one single person here does not have the ability to become a millionaire for sure. That's it. But what we believe, how we feel, and how we act determines whether it's going to happen or not. And when we get to a place where our feelings are not supporting our future, because there's only two ways to choose. What are they? Faith or fear. We can build from faith or fear. By the way, faith and fear are basically two sides of the same coin. Is fear real? Let's say, Michelle, you're afraid of spiders. Michelle's deadly afraid of spiders. Is that fear real? Who on here is not afraid of spiders? Drop a me in the chat if you're not afraid of spiders. Not afraid of spiders. I'm referred to as a bug killer in my house. My husband calls me to kill the bugs. I have great aim and it does not bother me one bit. So is Michelle's fear of spiders real? It is to Michelle. Why? Because she believes it. I love it. She's got a spray. That's funny. I use a shoe. It's fine. So, okay. So Michelle has a fear of spiders, but we've all agreed that that's not real except to Michelle and anybody else who believes that spiders are scary because they chose to believe it. Well, guess what? It's the exact same thing as becoming a millionaire. Some of you haven't even opened up your mind to the fact that that's possible for you. I know it's possible for you. I know it is. I've literally done it. I have a client right now. Her name's Catherine. I got on the phone with her 2 days ago. When she started with me, she was pregnant during COVID with twins. She already had a baby, and she had lost her business. They lost everything, literally everything. Her marriage was on the rocks. They were literally going to divorce. Like, it was not good. Got her in my program, did some calls, and guess what? She hit $1 million in her first year. Within 9 months, she hit $1 million. But yeah, that's awesome. But you know what? It's been 3 years now, or this is the fourth year, I guess, fourth year. They're about to hit $1 million a month. Marriage restored, right? She chose to suspend her disbelief. She chose that it was possible for her. She chose faith. She could have chose fear. She could have. She had every reason. Every result in her current life proved to her this was not good. There's no money in the bank. Like, I literally gave her money. God prompted me. It was a gift. But the point is this, you guys. when you think about, I shouldn't say I gave her money, I gave her a $1,000 scholarship. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, we have a $500 scholarship today. Whoopsies. For anybody who's live today and tomorrow until the end, I have a $500 scholarship that I'm giving away for the Millionaire Breakthru program. That's kind of important information, you know. Anyways, so faith and fear is the same coin, different sides. They're both a prayer for what you don't want, or what you want. Fear is a prayer for what you don't want. Faith is a prayer for what you want. Okay, so now here we have your identity, which is your current state. The current state that you're in. How many of you have noticed when you get flustered, upset, you bang a toe? You slam your finger in the door. You spill your coffee. You get ink on yourself. You're doing your makeup and you end up with makeup on your shirt. Right? Why? Because energy perpetuates itself. Energy perpetuates itself. So whatever state you're in is what the signal that you're sending out, which is the result that you're going to get back. So if I take this into business and I walk around saying, no one joins my team, no one buys my stuff, people don't need what I have, oh, there's somebody else doing it already, why would I need to do it? There's a million real estate agents, why would I need to do that? I mean, how much money do I really need? If I walked around doing that, what signal am I broadcasting from my identity? Boo. Me. The results that I'm going to get back are equivalent to stubbing my toe, spilling my coffee, right? Tipping stuff over. Because that's the frequency that I'm emitting in my energy. If you want millionaire results, if you want, and happy, you guys here, listen, I'm going to be doing, I'm so excited, inside Millionaire Breakthru, I haven't even told them, I know I have students on here, I haven't even told them this yet. I'm going to be teaching this next 12 months, I'm going to be teaching the 12 feminine laws of success. And the reason women are failing right now is because they have been taught the masculine laws. The masculine laws are great, you need them, but you already know them because it's drilled into your head. To think like a man, act like a man, don't be too emotional, right? Results, I get it. Grind till you die, do it till you fall over, be strong, be tough, get over it. Problem is there's 12 feminine laws of success that no one's teaching, so I'm going to be teaching that. Who wants to know? Right? That's why I am here. All my previous mentors, I know, right? By the way, you guys, you're not even going to believe what's going to happen this year, but I'll fill you guys in on that tomorrow. Okay, so, yeah, you guys want to know? You want to know the 12 feminine laws? I'm so excited. Okay, so here's what I want you to know. For us to shift your identity, we have to first be willing to give up who we are currently to move in to the next phase of who we're becoming. So the question is, are you willing to remember the truth about you? I'm going to give you a very simple example because I don't actually think that becoming is something that you bring from the outside. I believe it's something that you remember from the inside. Your power is on the inside of you. Your connection to God is on the inside of you. I'm going to ask you a very simple question. How many of you remember learning how to walk? Does anybody on here remember learning how to walk? Do you remember as a child learning how to walk and in the process of learning how to walk falling down and thinking, you stupid idiot, I can't believe you fell over? Well, you better stop trying. Everyone else knows how to walk. What the hell's wrong with you? You're walking crooked. I had to do it twice too, Brenda. I actually was paralyzed from the waist down, told I was never going to walk again. Real talk. #1 neurosurgeon at the Children's Hospital in Vancouver told me I was never going to walk again. I said, get out of my room. Take your opinion and beat it. And then he stuck pins down to my bones while my mom was sitting there. Who, by the way, my mom's in the kitchen, so if you guys want to verify, I have receipts. They told me I was never going to walk again, tried to fit me with a wheelchair, drugged my mom into the other room and said, you need to tell her she's going to be paralyzed. My mom said, you freaking tell her. You heard the response. So I really understand. But here's the reality. When you were little and you had to learn how to walk, did you beat yourself up when you couldn't do it the first time? No. You knew as a child you could walk. You knew it. You intrinsically knew that you could walk. Babies don't need to be told to stand up. They pull themselves up on the couch. They want to get up. Babies don't have to be encouraged to crawl. They try to crawl. They don't have to be encouraged to roll over. They roll over. It is built into a human's DNA to get up. If they fall down, get up again. If they bang their head off the coffee table and need stitches, do it again. If they fall off a bike, get back on it. The older we get, look at that. They said that to my dad too, and he said, watch me, and did it after breaking his neck. Exactly. Now that I realize there's some situations, like, I know somebody on here was saying amputee. Maybe it was a leg that's missing. That's a real, you have to learn to walk again. I had to learn to walk again too because my legs did not work. Literally, I had to drag them along. The point is, I had it in me, the drive in me to do it. So you guys do not need for me to teach you how to become a millionaire. You need me to remind you that you have it inside of you to do it already. Now, are there some things you need to learn? Probably. Are there some ways you need to think? Yes. Are there some feelings that we need to shift? I remember I used to hate paying my bills. I hated it. Why? Because I didn't have money to pay them. It was horrifying. I had to not pay my light bill to pay my phone bill. You guys know what I'm talking about? I had to have you ever gone to use your debit card? Have you ever gone to use your debit card? Congratulations, by the way. Brenda, I love. She just confirmed it was her leg that she lost. And here she is. She's like, I'm not letting that stop me. Right? I'm not letting it stop me. Some of us, though, are like, oh, I had a bad sleep. And we let that stop us. Right? Good for you, Brenda. I'm really proud of you. Right? I know, Regina panicked to make sure it was enough to cover, right? So you go to use your debit card, you're like, oh my God, I hope this works, right? Do you guys know, this is where I need you guys to hear me, that when we go to shift our identity, when we go to step into that next level identity, that next level action, that next level feeling, those old things, they're going to try and come back and convince you they're true. I literally still have moments where I go to pay for something and I'm like, is this going to work? And then I'm like, what? I have to talk to myself, not listen to myself. The most dangerous person you can listen to is the old you. You have to talk to you. Right? That's why those business builder statements that we're going to work on, those identity shift statements are so important. Okay. So right now what I want to do, have you guys gotten kind of an idea of why you are the way you are, the way you think, what's going on, where it's coming from? How much of that is actually conscious for you? How much of your box that you're in, your identity, is actual consciously you chose that? The fear of money, the fear of success, the fear of failure, the fear you're too fat, the fear you're too skinny, the fear you're too loud, blah, blah, blah. All of those things that we believe as humans, how much of that did you actually choose? Or was it planted there over time and you were programmed to think a certain way? Would you say that's true? If you think that's true, drop a 1 in the chat. If you believe that over time this has been programmed into you, okay, so we know it's true. This is where the crossroads come in. Are you going to allow the programming to continue to be the record that you play to get the results that you currently have? Because every single morning, you're the one that gets up and presses play. Every single morning, I'm the one that gets up and presses play. I have a we're going to go over that today too, just so you guys know. And if you go to my Instagram or my Facebook or even YouTube, I think I posted it there. I did a morning ritual. It doesn't take long, 10 minutes, not even. But I tell myself who I am every morning. I tell myself how to think every morning. I choose the state that I'm going to operate from every morning. I love that, Debbie. Debbie says, I feel like my filter for blocking the outside nonsense is blocked. Yeah, that is what I was going to say next, Debbie. So I'm so glad you're tuned in. We have to tell ourselves who we are in the morning. We have to have the feeling that we are already it. And we're going to do that exercise next. And then we have to shut our minds tightly to anything that comes against it. Now, the problem with that is when life teaches you through pain and hardship, what we do is our filter does get plugged. It does get blocked. We start to let the things in. We start to believe the nigglies. We start to, well, what if that is true? What if that they are right? What if, I shouldn't be a coach? What if I shouldn't be a network marketer? What if I, can't figure this out? What if I can't grow an online business? What if I? And we start to allow the seeds that we do not want the harvest of to be planted. We start to allow the seeds in. It is up to us to get up in the morning and press play on the recording of what we want to have happen in our life. To choose our identity, actively choose it. And when a seed comes against it, we do not allow the seed to hit the dirt. I say it like this, we flip it away. No, I don't accept that. No, that's not true. Money comes to me easily and frequently from multiple sources on a continuous basis. Everything I touch turns to gold. Every client I talk to joins my team. Every time I talk to a client, they have a breakthrough. Every time I show somebody my network marketing business, they join. Every time I go to make a sale in real estate, it sells. And it sells fast. Okay? So let's walk through this. You guys ready? If you're ready, drop shift in the chat. If you are ready, drop a shift in the chat. And I'm just going to make sure that we are good. Streaming, yes, we are. So good. Streaming, guys, YouTube stuff. I'll talk to you guys after. I'm going to come find the streams and talk to you. I can't see your comments from here. Make sure you guys get into the Facebook group, though. Make sure that happens. Okay, so let's walk through the process of creating that, which is promise number 1 of this masterclass, the Breakthrough Mindset Blueprint. This is something that I've used with my students for a hot minute now. Now, I want you guys to understand that your mind is your throne room, so to speak. It is your creative workshop. Whatever you think about comes about. If you don't know that, write it down. Whatever you think about comes about, period. This is not on trial. This is the truth. Whatever you think about comes about. So we need to shift in what we think about so that we can shift our results. So the very first thing that we want to do is enter the end state. Now we have to move the inner world first. This is very, very important. When we move the inner world, it means that we are building from a different state. So you want to step into the identity of the woman who already lives the reality you desire. I'm going to say that again. You need to step into the identity of the woman who already lives the reality that you desire. This isn't daydreaming. This is identity selection. So what does the expanded version of you assume? And we're going to do an exercise, but I'm going to teach you guys the steps, and then we're going to actually go through and do the thing, okay? Money responds to your certainty. Money responds to your certainty. Money comes when I call. Just so you guys know, money can come when you call. Clients are already moving towards you. Opportunities show up because your frequency commands expansion. You do not wait for evidence. You generate it by becoming the woman who already has the results. You do not wait for evidence. You generate it. See, we're all sitting around saying we'll believe it when we see it, but is that how it works? Did I say it again, Debbie? Did I say the part you wanted me to say again? Okay. Okay. By the way, you guys, okay, good. By the way, you guys, if you have not upgraded to VIP, trust me, these are lifetime recordings. Plus, you're going to get all the workbooks and all the exercises and all the things and activations in my voice that you can listen to on the regular. It's $47. Just so you know, to do that anywhere else would be a $500 value minimum a day. And there's 3 days, which is $1,500. So I know, right? So yeah, it's crazy. So if you have not done that and you want to upgrade to VIP, do it now. I can get you guys a link, drop VIP in the chat if that's what you want. Okay, so now we just said you don't wait for evidence, you generate it by becoming the woman who already has the results. Okay, so how do you generate it? How do you generate it? I'll just drop this in the chat because I'm going to keep going and I don't want to miss you guys. I know you're... Okay. There's your VIP link to go upgrade. Do it now. And then, because we have a VIP class after this for integration. Guys, I'm so excited. It's so good. Okay, and let's see. Just had a thought. I want to make sure I'm getting you guys what you need. Okay. All right. So, what we do is we look around and we say, well, it has to be here before I believe it's true. But the problem with that is that if you don't see it in your mind first, it's never going to show up in your reality. You have to believe first and then it shows up. Here's what this is really, truly, I'm giving you guys the secret sauce right now. What most people do is they try to create the result in their life instead of believing that it's done already. When I started in network marketing, the reason I got success was I looked at the top of the compensation plan and I said, I'm going there. And the leader I was working with said, you can't do that. I said, watch me. I'm not asking for your permission. Remember, I made the decision that no one was going to tell me how I was going to live again. My financial future wasn't going to be in another human's hands again. Have I kept to that? Not always. I've made some pretty big slips, but I always come back to, I'm responsible. If I can build it in my mind, I can hold it in my hand. But you guys haven't taken the time to build it in your mind. We're going to do that next. We're going to do that in the next 10 minutes. Welcome, Helga. Helga just upgraded to VIP. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So excited for you. Okay. So smart, girly. All right, let me go back. Okay. So, number 1 is enter the end state. Number 2, self-concept is the strategy. Your self-concept, who you believe you are, is the root system of your life and business. Shift that, everything follows. Seriously, you shift it, everything follows. If you want higher income, you stabilize the identity of the woman who earns it. If you want consistent clients, you embody the mentor whose presence alone activates people. How many of you feel activated right now? Like you feel, give me a wave if you feel activated. Like there's something inside of you and you're like, what is happening right now? Okay, that's activation. But you guys have that same power, that same ability to be able to give to other people. Even at your jobs, even if you don't have a business yet, your children, your families, etc. Okay, strategy becomes powerful when powered by self-concept. Welcome, Tracy Proctor, VIP. You guys, I'm sorry, I get the notifications. Okay, And Lindsay Herringer. Lindsay Herringer, welcome VIP. Okay, if you want higher income, you stabilize the identity. Strategy becomes powerful when powered by self-concept that matches your desires. I'm going to say that again. Strategy becomes powerful when powered by self-concept that matches your desires. Welcome, Debbie Johnson, to VIP. Mindset becomes a frequency, not a chore. I'm going to stop right there for a second. How many of you feel like your mindset could wear you out? Like, just the work you have to do to keep your mindset straight is a full-time job. What if we shifted you so that your frequency held the mindset and it required no effort on your part? Other than the, yes, Krista's like, yes, let's go. Okay, other than, yes. Debbie, I thank you so much. I love it. Taking action VIP, she says. Okay, so if you guys think about this, if your frequency is at a certain state, you no longer have to work so hard at your mindset because it's now your identity. You're vibrating at a completely different level as a completely different human. Now, do you still have to have a guard at the gate? Oh my God, that's why that happened. Are you guys ready? I had no idea this was coming. Okay. Jan Baudreau, welcome to VIP. Jan, welcome to VIP. Okay, I'm going to share this with you guys. This happened 2 weeks ago. Naomi, welcome to VIP. I had no idea why. I wish I had it here. Anyways, my mom and I are shopping. November 1st. This is when this happened. November 1st. That's how long ago this was. I land from Thailand. I'm exhausted. I'm on a 12-hour time change. I'm so tired. I was on the road for like 9 weeks, traveling Asia, doing meetings, Dubai, all the things. Amazing. Very, very rewarding, but it was a lot. So I land. I put up my Christmas tree December 1st. Well, there was a sale on Christmas trees, and I'm like, I should just go look to see if there's one, because my apartment, normally I have like a 12-foot Christmas tree. If you guys ever been to my house for Christmas, I usually have 3 or 4 Christmas trees. Not kidding. Like, I am crazy. I love Christmas, okay? It's a little insane. My family, like, gets Christmas pajamas, anyways, it's a whole thing. So I go to get this Christmas tree, and I said to my mom, we won't buy it today. I'm just going to go see if it would fit. Well, I buy the Christmas tree, and then I bought all the decorations. Linda Sims, welcome to VIP. So I'm buying all these Christmas decorations, and this nutcracker keeps calling it off the shelf to me. I don't like nutcrackers. I have never, in my Christmas craziness, ever bought a nutcracker. They creep me out a little bit. I don't watch the show. I don't like the nutcracker. I don't get it. They freak me out. But I have this inexplicable draw to get this nutcracker. So I find the one I want, and I bought a green one, which is super weird. If you guys know me, there's no green in my house. I buy a green nutcracker, and then of course I had to get green pillows because it didn't go with anything. So I get this green nutcracker, I bring him home, and I put it on my coffee table, and I'm in love with this nutcracker. I cannot help myself. My mom's like, what has gotten into you? I'm like, I do not know. And she can attest to you, I have never had a nutcracker in my house ever one time. Okay. A week later, I walk into the lobby of my building. There are 14 nutcrackers. 14 nutcrackers in the lobby of my building. I'm going to do a video and send it to you guys. If you guys are my Millionaire Breakthru, I'm going to send it in there. I'll put it on Facebook. I'll put it in the group. There is 2 nutcrackers the same size as me at the front door. You walk in the door, there's 2 more nutcrackers. Then there's 2 behind that. Then there's 2 standing at those doors. Then there's 2 on the counter. And there's 2 here. I walk into the back lobby. There's 2 there. I'm like, what in the actual is going on right now? Okay. But end of October, I decided to step back into coaching. Lucia, welcome to VIP. Welcome. Okay, so I decided to step back into coaching. I took a year and a half off coaching after I almost had a nervous breakdown. I'll tell you guys that story tomorrow. And I kept servicing my clients that I had. I didn't drop them, but I stepped back. I didn't promote it. I didn't sell it, nothing. And right before this nutcracker enters my life, I decided to step back in. So then all these nutcrackers show up, and I'm not stupid. I'm like, okay, what is nutcrackers all about? And I'm going to take a minute because I need you guys to hear this. And then we're going to do your guys' exercise so you get it. So I go onto ChatGPT and I say, tell me the significance of a nutcracker. Because I don't know. Remember, I don't like them. So I've never looked them up. I don't know nothing. So here's what it said. You guys, I want you to hear this. There's something almost archetypical about being suddenly pulled towards an object you normally overlook. When it happens with a nutcracker, it's rarely random. Those little wooden soldiers carry a strange mix of myth, psychology, and symbolism that taps deeper than their holiday mascot reputation. A nutcracker is basically a guardian. In old German folklore, they were carved as protectors, figures that stand at the threshold, looking fierce and a little absurd, meant to keep danger and misfortune outside the home. Their exaggerated jaws were not for cracking nuts as much as they were for symbolically crushing negativity. They sat near doors, windows, hearths, the liminal edges of a place. Fast forward to modern culture, they become icons of transformation. Regina, what's my word? What is it? Transformation. This is what I do for my clients. The entire Nutcracker Ballet is literally a story about crossing into a different world, growing up, discovering hidden realms, and reclaiming personal power. Clara goes from passive observer to heroine. The Nutcracker becomes a prince. Every scene is a metamorphosis. So when someone suddenly feels pulled to buy one, what they're really responding to is the symbolism underneath. You've likely stepped into a threshold moment. Old identity on one side, new identity on the other. Nutcrackers show up when you're leveling up. They represent protection, a signal that your subconscious wants a guard at the gate while you evolve. Authority and decision. That upright, decorative figure says, I'm holding the line while you ascend. Transformation, the story of something ordinary turning extraordinary. Awakening power. Cracking old patterns open so what's inside can be used. If they're now everywhere in your lobby, you're basically being greeted by a chorus of little wooden sentinels. The old season is closed. The new one is in motion. Stand tall. People pick up symbolic objects when they're about to expand and their psyche wants a physical anchor. You buying one, then being surrounded by them, puts a big neon sign on the moment. You're in a chapter of identity shift, protection rising around you, and a new level of wanting to materialize. This is the same energy that shows up before major breakthroughs, increased visibility, and new influence. Nutcrackers line the pathway of someone about to step into a bigger room. Okay, so I decided I'm stepping back into coaching, right? This nutcracker shows up. Then 14 nutcrackers show up in my lobby. Then CNBC phones me and asks me to do a show. Huh? CNBC phones me and asks me if I'd like to be a guest on a show, and then asks me if it goes well if I'd like to have my own show. I don't know. Yes. Working out the details. I also had decided, do you guys know my book is launching in March? The Empire Money Method is finally launching in March. I've had it written for a year and a half. I didn't feel released till October. I'm doing a new podcast. I decided that my fame equals notoriety, which equals impact. Why do I share that with you guys? Because of what we just read. Strategy becomes powerful when powered by self-concept that matches your desires. Mindset becomes a frequency, not a chore. Listen to this next one. Inner congruence creates outer ease. Life flows when your identity and desire match. You can't expect abundance while operating from scarcity. You can't call in clients while doubting your authority. You can't hold a vision while leaking energy into fear. Inner congruence is the foundation of ease. When your inner world stabilizes, the external world evolves and organizes itself around your frequency. This is a very delicate, potent combination. Your imagination is the key to it all. Your imagination is not fantasy. It's the blueprint for your physical reality. Your imagination is the blueprint for your physical reality. What are you currently building in your mind? Have you got the end of being a millionaire in your mind already? How many of you know we have to build that blueprint now? How many of you are ready to build the blueprint? Like, you are physically going to do the work with me over these 2 days and become that millionaire in your mind first. Oh, you guys are so amazing. 2026 is going to be epic for all of us because you know I like to rise together. I love it. And thank you. Thank you guys for your encouragement. I really, at Lisa, I almost bought 2 huge ones off Wayfair. I know, right? Okay, so you guys understand that when we change our identity, our frequency shifts, and then the whole world reorganizes itself to match that frequency. But instead of what we do, instead of tuning our own station, instead of getting our own identity tuned in, we go to work on trying to fix the outside bits. Tammy, welcome to VIP Upgrade. I'm so excited, you guys. I'm so excited. Okay, so we, instead of actually doing the work here, we go outside because we've been taught by masculine patterns. Because what do men do? Somebody drop in the chat what men do. What do men do? They want to fix it, don't they? They want to fix it. Because that's their calling, is to fix it. I am not going to go fix my toilet. I'm going to tell my husband. And he's going to go get some other dude to fix it. I don't want to fix it. I don't want to fix my car. Women, and if you're a mechanic, that's amazing. That's a cool skill. I don't mean to belittle any of that because those are amazing skill sets. I do not want to be dirty. I don't want to. I want to stay my feminine, thank you. So I will call a man. If I have to do it, could I? For sure. But do I want to? Not really. So men want to fix it. So what we've been trained as women is that we go out and we try to fix it. We try to work on our business just a little bit harder. We try to work on our network marketing business just a little bit harder. We try to work on the course so it's just right. How many of you are coaches on here? If you're a coach, I'm the dude, Jen says, fixing the sink this morning. I love it. No, I can fix the sink. I just don't want to have to do it. How many of you are coaches? If you're a coach, can you give me a wave if your camera's on? If your camera's not on, I'd love for you to turn it on if you can. But if you are a coach, because I know we have coaches on here. We have people that are in real estate. We have, actually, I believe there's some doctors. We have different people, different realms, right? Okay, so the truth is that what we do is we try to go work on the thing instead of fixing the frequency and vibration. When we go inside and we work on the inside things, guess what? The results automatically shift. The world lines up. It's called building a bridge of incidents. If you don't know that. I know Debbie. She's in the middle of nowhere. She can't turn the camera on. I love you, Debbie. I missed you. Okay, so building a bridge of incidents. Whenever you have a belief, like when you, I have faith, I'm going to build my business, that starts to roll out a bridge for you to cross, a bridge of incidences, things that will occur, right? When I move, God moves also. So when I move, no problem, Brenda, you know where the replay is in the group. So you guys, the bridge of incidences start to unfold. The moment I enter into fear, the moment I start to doubt, I literally break my own bridge. I cut off the track. That's why doubt, you can't afford doubt. You can't afford to entertain. I say don't cuddle with your fear. I call it cuddling. We don't cuddle with fear and doubt. We kick it out the door. I cuddle with love, faith, joy, peace, patience, kindness, fruits of the Spirit. Not fear and doubt. Fear and doubt destroy your bridge that you are building to the thing that you desire. Okay? Now, so imagination is your CEO desk. If you guys don't know, Millionaire Breakthru is where most of you would start, but I actually have CEO School that's not going to be opened again until September. CEO School is like, how do you run a six-figure or multiple six-figure or seven-figure business, like the actual business part of it, because that's a whole other thing. Millionaire Breakthru is like mindset. Like, how do I get you to where you can do the money and do life and do your health, right? I don't know if you guys know, I've lost 25 pounds. I made a decision also in October. I lost 25 pounds since then. My major inflammation is healed. So like, yeah, it's exciting, right, Jan? Okay, so your imagination is your CEO desk. So whatever October was my decision. It was my TSN turning point. But you guys are going to have your TSN turning point today. You're going to have yours today. I love it. Okay. So, imagination is your desk. Your imagination is not fantasy. It is the blueprint for your physical reality. A simple question directs everything. Who am I choosing to be right now? When you rehearse success internally, your subconscious accepts it as truth. Did you know that your mind does not know the difference between what's a lie and what's true? It doesn't know. So, for example, when I go into anything, it doesn't matter, coaching, it doesn't matter. This call, let's take this call for an example. I have a very, very big goal for next year. And I want to help specifically 100 women break six figures next year. That is a tall order, right? And I'm not talking in my network marketing business. As a matter of fact, I pretty much retired from network marketing. I have a couple of opportunities that are running. If anybody needs a business, I'll go put them in there, depending on what their skill set is and what they need, right? I've got ones that I vetted that are good. They're great, actually. But I really am, like, I am owning my identity, because you know what the problem is? I need you guys to hear this. There's something that you're really good at that you've been avoiding. What are you really good at that you've been avoiding? Because of things like, it's too late for me, I should have done this 6 months ago, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I'm not good enough, I'm too fat, all those things that we said before. Well, I embodied my identity as a global leader. As a matter of fact, you guys can mark my words, I am now the matriarch of feminine finance. I am the matriarch of feminine wealth. I am building a company that is built on feminine values with the 12 success principles. Every transaction, and I'm talking it is fintech, like actual tech, and education, married. It's where women are going to learn how to become the most powerful, wealthy versions of themselves, how to think like millionaires, and we're not competing with the men. As a matter of fact, my calling is to honor the masculine. I love men. I love them. I love how they move. I love how they think. I love how they are. I love all of that, but I'm not one. And I make very different decisions than my husband when it comes to money. Very different decisions. I want my money to like feed people, and I want his money to feed people too. Now, my husband doesn't get money and think, what orphan can I serve? Because that's not his calling. His calling is different. But my calling? How many of you would like to be a part of a community that over the next 12 months, we rescue 100,000 women and children from slavery? How many of you would like to be a part of that? The work's done for you, you just get to be a part of it. If that's you, drop a 10 in the chat. Because I am dead serious. This next 12 months for me, I want 100 women who have had a six-figure breakthrough. I want 100,000 people rescued on top of the 15 we've already rescued. How many of you would like to go to India with me and actually see the impact? How many of you would like to take a trip to India with me and stay on the property? We have 15 acres there. And actually see and meet these women and children. Did you guys know? Can you believe I don't even tell people this? Did you guys know that my partners have a program where we do microloans for women in business who've lost everything? They'd be sold into slavery, and we give them a skill set and a business. Do you know how much that costs? $500 a woman. $500. People are going to fart that at Walmart this Christmas. They're going to buy crap for their kids that their kids do not need. Buy your kids all the toys. But also, how would you guys like to leave a real impact, a lasting impact, generational impact? That's what we're doing at Create Your Empire in the next 20. And I'm telling you, I've stepped into it. But here's the thing. I need you to step into your identity. I need you. How many of you feel moved by that? Yeah, I'm amazing, but so are you. This is my point. This isn't the Melanie show. I can't do this without you guys. I need for you to become the best, most powerful, most wealthy, most convinced version of you and step into your greatness so that you can partner with me to do all the work. So I'm kind of trapping you into a better life all around. I'm going to trick you. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to get you there. All starts in your imagination. When you rehearse success internally, your subconscious accepts it as truth. Your energy shifts, your actions align, your results rearrange. I cannot stress to you guys what will happen. I know he loves being a part of Rick's so amazing. Rick's been a part of our community for like 5 years, Rick? Is that right? Yeah. Amazing. I love the dudes that show up and they're just like, I just love you guys. It's so awesome. And I really need you guys to hear that. My goal, just so you guys know, is to actually, we're going to start with the women and then we're going to incorporate the men. That's the goal. Because the truth is, women are the spiritual leaders of their households. And you know it. You bring the love, you bring the heart, you bring the gift, you bring the family, you bring the nurturing, you bring all that stuff, and they follow. And men, all men want, they think, you guys have heard what all men want. It's not true. They've sold men that sex is the answer, when in fact what men are after is your feminine energy. They're after your power. They want that feminine thing that they don't have. They don't have it. They can't even manufacture it. And unfortunately, the media has told them that it's, young hot chicks and all the other stuff that they're selling them. Okay, great. Amazing. We're going to change that too. That's right. I don't even know who's ready for this. I don't even know who's ready for the new Melanie. Oh, and by the way, it's not Melanie Greenough anymore. It's Melanie Lynn Greenough. Do you know why? Because my feminine is activated. The matriarch of feminine wealth, for me, I've been called a mom my whole life. I have 50-year-old dudes say to me, like, you feel like my mom. What they're trying to say is, I feel safe in your presence. I feel activated in your presence. I feel protected in your presence. Right? Okay. Assumption are the wealth codes. Your assumptions are your wealth codes. Plus the 12 feminine success codes we're going to be doing inside Millionaire Breakthru this year. Your dominant assumptions are the energetic commands that shape your world. Your dominant assumptions are the energetic commands that shape your world. When your assumptions shift, your business shifts. When your assumptions weaken, your momentum weakens. Affirmations aren't about convincing the universe. They are about installing a new identity in your self-conscious. You don't hope it works, you assume it does. And reality falls in line. And then finally, the new identity takes the action. The identity you occupy determines the behavior you take. Your old identity hesitates, overthinks, tries to earn worthiness. Breakthrough identity moves as the woman who already succeeds. From this place, content becomes magnetic, sales become fluid, offers sell before you even launch them, money becomes rhythmic, you are no longer trying. Finally, remember, you're the operating power. Your business, your income, and impact do not come from algorithms, markets, or luck. They come from you, your identity, your energy, your decisions. Your breakthrough mindset blueprint hands you back the power. You're not becoming her someday. You are her right now. So if I have you guys' permission in the last 30 minutes, can you guys believe we've been here an hour and a half already? I had to do this for 2 hours because an hour is just not long enough. Like it takes me, like for me to really give you, because my goal is breakthrough. Like I am not here to be a talking head. I need for you guys to engage in the material and actually do the work, because I want you to come back and say, I am one of your 6 figures. And if you're already at 6 figures, I want, if your goal, like I remember when I was at 150,000 a year in network marketing, I was like, man, I wish I could hit 200. And then when I hit 200, 250, and then 500, whatever your number is, I want you to come back and say, I was one of those numbers. So if you're going to be one of the 100K, I want you to drop 100K in the chat right now. If you're committed to it, or whatever your number is, I want to see who's in. Are you guys ready to be activated? Because this is what we're going to do. Like this exercise we're going to do right now is the basis, the foundation. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And welcome to all of you guys that took action on the VIP. Congratulations. We are going to do some crazy stuff. I'm so excited. Plus lifetime access. So you guys can, okay, you guys are ready. I see it. Okay. Love it. Okay. So now we're going to bring it down a notch. I'm going to get you guys to sit up straight wherever you're sitting and take a deep breath in. I love it. Diane says, I told my ladies that you're here, that are here, that you would deliver. Thank you, Diane. Diane is an amazing leader in network marketing, and she's so beautiful. She reached out and she said, I've got a couple ladies on my team I'd like to bring. I'm like, bring them on over. Let's go. So I love that. Yes, she is. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. So we're going to walk through a meditation right now. If you've never done a meditation before, don't get all freaked out. It's just us using your imagination to build something new in your mind. Because we just discovered over the last hour and a half that until we build it in our mind, we cannot hold it in our hand. Okay? So what I want you to do is sit up, get comfortable, and we're going to take it at night. If you feel comfortable closing your eyes, do so. I'm not going to, because I'm going to read you through a meditation. I wish I could, because this is one of my favorite exercises. This is what I do in my own life. So I really wish I could do it with you, but I'm just going to walk you through it. And at any time, I want you to notice if your mind starts to wander, just don't be mean to yourself. Bring yourself back. If you have trouble in your imagination creating a new vision of yourself, don't panic. We're going to spend some time together, right? By day number 3, we have today and tomorrow for training, and then we got Q&A. We have got lots of time for integration, and you guys are going to have more opportunities. I'm going to share with you guys some of the programs, etc., that are available to you. So right now, chill out. Tranquilo, mamacita. Okay? Regina's laughing. I know my Spanish is getting better, right? Okay, so deep breath in. Okay. Take another deep breath in. Hold it and release. Let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw loosen. Let your nervous system settle into the truth. You are safe to rise. Again, a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it and release. Now that your eyes are closed, bring awareness to the woman you are becoming. I want you to take a minute and I want you to imagine lavender energy just flowing in through the top of your head, all through your body. This is just pure, loving, clean energy. Coming down through your head, into your body, down through your shoulders, into your chest, through your heart space, down into your stomach. Allow your stomach to relax, down into your legs. Allow that lavender energy to flow all the way down to your toes. Now think about the woman you are becoming, not someday, but right now, in this very moment. Imagine yourself 12 months from today. Not the version of you who is trying, the version of you who has arrived at your goal. The woman who leads herself with clarity, who knows what she's doing every single day when she gets up and feels good about it. The woman who trusts herself deeply, who works when she's inspired and rests when she's tired. The woman whose income matches her impact. I want you guys to think about that whatever number you had chosen, you're going to go into your phone app or into your banking app or directly into your bank, and I want you to open your account and I want you to see that money already there. See it clearly. It's already there. No more working, no more striving, no more hoping, no more praying. It's there. How does that feel to know that that money is there? To know that it's flowing to you freely and you didn't have to kill yourself to get it. You didn't grind. You're just standing there knowing that money is there and you are safe and you are able to trust that you have the ability to do it again. I want you to see that woman standing in front of you now. Feel yourself as that woman. We don't want to just leave you standing outside of yourself, but be that person right now. You're the woman looking in the bank account. That money is yours. Notice how you're breathing. Do you feel joy, excitement, enthusiasm, gratitude? That money came to you because you called. I want you to notice how you walk out of that bank or walk into the next room. How do your eyes look? How's your energy? How do you feel? Notice there's no rushing. There's no hustling. There's simply leading. Your presence is the freedom. I want you to take a minute and take a deep breath in. And I want you to feel the confidence that you have settling into your body. The certainty in your mind. The calmness in your breath. You're standing there in your new identity as your millionaire self. You create results with intention. No intensity, just intention. You attract opportunities because your presence is magnetic. You lead with grace and power and precision. You are the frequency. Now I want you to take a minute and ask yourself, what does your life look like now that that money is there? What do your days feel like? How are you serving your clients? How are you best expressing yourself? And just allow the details to rise. Don't force it, just receive. Now we want to ask that woman, what became simple for you for this to happen? What did you stop tolerating? What did you finally claim? What decision did you make that changed everything? And just let the answers float into your awareness. Take a deep breath in. And repeat after me, if you can out loud, I am her now. I am my millionaire self. I lead with clarity. I create with intention. I receive with ease. And I rise with power. I want you to feel the truth of those words in your body. This is no longer a future version of you. This is your identity starting today. Place your hand on your heart. Inhale deeply. And say, it is done. Let it be so. All right. Gently open your eyes. Bring yourself back into the room. Remember, this woman is now making the decisions in your life. She's the one running the ship. How you move, the decisions you make, how you feel, all of it is run by that woman. No more stressing, no more struggling, no more fear, no more doubt, certainty, joy, peace, love, those things. Now, coming out of this event, of course, we now have to be practical about how does that woman show up in our life. Before I do that, we're going to move into the CEO 2-hour workday so I can show you how to get the money. But the frequency is the most important part. The part that we just did now, that's the key to your future. That's the thing that's going to change everything. So I want you guys to drop into the chat. I love it. I am a phoenix rising from the ashes. Yes. Absolutely. I want you to drop in the chat one thing that shifted for you. Something that you felt, something that happened during that. Just drop it in the chat. I want you guys to see that we are all different, having different experiences, but we're also all the same. Calmness. How many of you felt calm? Relief, yes. Yes. What if you could live every day in that calmness? Even when you're building your business, even when things are hectic, like these 3 days for me, you guys, I'm teaching for 6 hours, but it's still calm. I felt blanketed in my presence of who I am. Power, I am powerful. Relief, empowered. Mindset about my new way of contacting people. Yes, I love it, Linda. I had been very stressed. Now I'm calmer and more assured. That's beautiful. I felt the joy and empowerment pumping in my hands. Do you know why you felt it in your hands? First of all, the workshop is the imagination. The tools are the hands. Also, your heart is directly connected, blood flow wise, to your hands. You can feel a person's heartbeat where? Right here. You increased your vitality, your energy, which increased your flow to your hands. Naomi says, peace filled with light, calmer, connections to something I thought I lost. Lori, tension releasing, calm and reassured. I am the epitome of success. I saw her and she's a star of her life. You sound and look much calmer and it makes it easier for us to be calmer. Exactly. I was born for so much more. The calmness that I do not have to strive to do this, yes, is coming. Yes. Striving, you guys. Striving energy is very masculine energy. It's very masculine, but it's what the world has taught you is normal. It's not normal. You are the generator, the operator. You set the tone, you set the vibration. That's what brings the results. Believe that she still exists. Krista, that's so beautiful. I wasn't hiding anymore. The pain in my hips is gone. Uh-huh. Hips are the ability to carry ourselves through life. Just so you know, Tammy. So, it says to me that you have a stronger identity in your ability to carry yourself through your life. That's super beautiful. All right. Did today help? Because I'm about to step into, I just want to see, did you guys enjoy that? Did you enjoy that exercise? Yes? Yeah. Okay, good. Good. Okay. So let's get practical. We have 13 minutes left, and I do want to stay on track because I know I'm taking a large portion of your day. And you guys are, by the way, thank you for dedicating that time to yourself. I'm really proud of you for setting the time aside and showing up, right? And most of you stayed right till the end. I know some of you guys had appointments, which is cool, but the majority of you stayed till the end, which is very cool. Okay. The hips are your ability to carry yourself through life. Melanie is back. Thank you, Regina. You're very sweet. Okay, so let's talk about the CEO workday, because that was the second promise of there's 4 promises. There was your identity shift, which we just did, right? Breaking through imposter syndrome. You no longer have to feel like an imposter. In your mind, in your heart, you're already her. Now it's just acting towards that, not looking at our facts, not looking at what's real in our life, but instead believing what's possible and treating that like it's fact. Number 2, the CEO workday. If you're in VIP, there's a document in there already with this routine. If you're not in VIP, I'm going to give it to you now, and you guys can take some notes. But number 1 is when you wake up in the morning, you tell you who you are. You have to set your frequency. You can do that meditation. You guys are going to be getting a lot more. Debbie, I love you. It's in there, Lisa. I'll help you guys with it during VIP. So when you get up in the morning, you want to walk yourself through the end in mind meditation. You guys are going to be getting a lot more activations from me this year. We're going to be doing different master classes. I will be running through the feminine codes, but it's really going to be you getting up in the morning and allowing the end in mind picture to be where you live from. You have to live from her first. Otherwise, you're going to live from who you are or were before you got here. And we don't want that. We want the new you, right? We want the remembered you. We want the wealthy version of you. We want the millionaire version of you. So every morning when you get up, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, spend in that state. Really get into it. This takes discipline, I promise you. Especially if you're a mom and a wife and they're all wanting your attention and all the things, you have to teach them to leave you alone. Business partners, don't get to talk to me before 10 a.m. My clients, don't talk to me before 10 a.m. I don't touch my email. I don't touch my social media. Nothing. Unless I feel inspired. Like the other morning, there was a crazy sunrise and I just felt my heart to put it on social media. I took a quick video and posted it later. Okay? So I don't touch any of that. I get into the end state of what I am creating. I picture the results already done. The money already in the bank account. The clients already activated. 100 clients at 6 figures from scratch or from wherever they're starting. 100,000 lives impacted in 2026, right? This is the vision, the end in mind, how it's going to feel, how it's done already. Not like how it's going to feel when I get there, but it's done already. Okay? That's CEO step number 1. Then, when it's work time, which is blocked off, I check my emails. I open my emails twice a day, beginning of the day and the end of the day. I don't check them otherwise. 5 minutes. That's it. That's how much attention my emails get. Beginning of the day, end of the day. Maybe 15 minutes if you run a 6-figure business or above, you might need 15 minutes. No more than that. Then I get into my DMs. Why my DMs first? Because when you're doing your DMs, it actually generates the algorithm. So the reason you want to do your DMs first is because after that, you're going to do your posting. Well, if you're in your DMs answering messages, doing birthdays, and if you guys are in my program, this is all stuff that I teach in there. But, if you do your birthdays and your memories, reaching out to people, you do all of that first. Guess who sees your stuff when you post it? All the people that you reached out to. Especially if you're communicating back and forth, right? So you want to do your DMs first. And birthdays and memories are memories, anniversaries, all that stuff. That's ways for you to reach people you would not normally speak to. And I do it very simply. Let's say if I was reaching out to Regina, is there anybody on here that I did this to in the last 2 weeks? I just reach out to people. It's genuine. I might say hey Jan, I just did this with a girl. I haven't literally seen her stuff come across my feed in probably 5 years. I said, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in so long. What's new in your world? There's no intention. There's no trying to sign her up or trying to get her or see, Regina, I did say happy birthday to Regina's dad. I just do that. That's just what I do. That's part of my MO. I just do that daily method of operation. Okay? So you want to do your birthdays, your DMs, all of that first on Facebook and or Instagram. Go back and, comment on anybody who's commented on your stuff. Do that first. Connection is first, is the point. Then you move into your social media. I would prefer you blocked your social media, but until you get good at it, you're probably posting every day, like making stuff up every day. That's fine. Once you get good at it, you're going to pre-plan it, etc. But then you do your posting because it reaches more people, right? And then we do what? Profit producing activities. And this is the part most people skip. What are profit producing? Well, first of all, the most profit producing activity you can do is getting your frequency straight before you start your day. That's number one. If you're not doing that profit producing activity, I don't care how hard you work, it's not going to work. Okay? But what you can do for profit producing activities is ask yourself, as your millionaire self, what is going to move the needle for me in my business? So for me, doing this moves the needle, because as soon as you get into my presence, you go, oh, I didn't realize how much I needed this, right? And then you come into my program where I can actually create long-lasting impact and change your freaking life. But if I don't do this thing, you don't get that thing. You see it? But what do I have to do to get you here? I have to make posts. I have to be brave. I have to book it. Dude, I haven't done a masterclass for public consumption in 2 years. Do you think that didn't take a little bit of talking myself into it? Do you know how much work this is? I'm like, Melanie, do you really want to do this? And I'm like, well, how else am I going to reach, I need to change 1 million women's lives. How else am I going to do it? You know what I'm saying? So you can talk to yourself and talk yourself into the thing that's going to move your needle. But you have to figure out I love it. Reaches newbies like you. Exactly, Jan. And now, what am I going to do? Activate you so you reach the people that I don't know. Because it's the thing, you guys, we are built for community. That's what we're built for. So, what's going to move the business, what's going to move the needle in your business? What is going to move the needle, get you results? You need to write it down. And I'm okay if it's just one thing. Some of you need to have, you have a party plan type business. You need to have a party. Some of you need to do a Zoom. Some of you need to get coaching clients. I know we have a Ayurvedic coach on here. Krista, where are you? Right there. Wave, Krista. She's a Ayurvedic coach, right? What does she need to do? Ayurvedic things. She needs to get in front of people with her information. I appreciate your time too. Okay, so decide what's going to move the needle and schedule it into your day. Don't just hope it's going to work. Most likely, every single one of you to move the needle needs to reach out to people, get your information in front of them, and follow up. Those are profit-producing activities across, I don't care what you do for a living. Reach out to people, get your information in front of them, and do the follow-up. Okay? We do a deep dive on that, of course, in my program, because clearly that's important. Then the next step in your CEO day, you want to start 10 new conversations with people. And this is kind of what I was just talking about, but you're starting 10 new conversations every single day. People are like, I can't keep up with that. Well, if you want to make money, if you think about this, if you start 100 conversations in a week, you might get 20 of them to look at your information. If you get 20 of them to look at your information, you might have 8 of them get on a call with you. And if you have 8 of them get on a call with you, you might have 2 of them buy from you. Most people are like, I'm not making money. Yeah, because you're not taking enough action. But that was your old self, right? Your new millionaire self, what does she do? She's like, yeah, give me the conversations. Yeah, I'm going to reach out to people. Yes, I'm going to rip off the Band-Aid and ask. Yes, I'm going to show them. Yes, I'm going to lead them, because here's the thing, and you guys will hear, if you were around me for 5 minutes, you're going to hear me say, until you get the credit card, you can't change life. I don't care if you're a Ayurvedic coach a real estate agent. I don't care if you sell gold and silver. I don't care what you do. It's me too. Until I get your credit card, I can't change your life. That's the truth. So what do I need to do? I need to ask you to join. If I don't ask you to join, what are we doing? So that's any business, okay? Now, starting 10 new conversations. I also want for you to start thinking about where can you show up, podcast stages, local networking events, summits, etc. This is a step most people miss. Part of my CEO day, I apply for a stage at least, if not 2, every day, 4 days a week. I don't do it 5, I do it 4. Fridays, I don't do a lot. I just do what I have to do. But I apply for a different stage. I find an event. I find a networking event, right? And guess what happens? When I go to those places, I have now, because I have faith in my mind, I go to the place. Guess what happens? I meet people. As a matter of fact, I don't even know. Are you on here? I have a new client, a new one-on-one client. I went and spoke. I had no idea why I was going to speak at the blockchain jungle in Costa Rica. No idea. They asked me to come speak. I'm like, sure. I'm like, that's weird. I've never spoken at a blockchain anything. Although I'm moving in, my new project has blockchain in it. Anyways, I meet this woman. She's like, I need you as my coach. I'm not even kidding. I had like a 5-minute conversation with her. She's like, can we talk? I'm like, sure. How about Monday? She's like, perfect. Signs up on the spot. But if I hadn't gone to that event, would I have that client? No. So, and this is where it's really tricky because the last couple of years, they bred in-person stuff out of us, right? It's all online. We are spiritual beings. How many of you, if I said right now, I'm going to host a retreat in Panama. First of all, some of you have been to my retreats and you know they're straight fire. But if I was going to host a retreat in Panama and I opened the doors and I said there's 20 spots, you would come. You'd be like, I'm in. Look at Jan. She's like, I'm in. You want to come hang out with me for 4 days? You would not believe what happens. Okay. So you guys need to look at where can you go to meet more people, to practice showing up as your new millionaire self. And when you walk in that room, you are walking in yourself as in the room as her. You are walking in, you are dressing, you are acting, you are as if. It's already done. And guess what? The entire world responds to it. They do. They respond to it, I promise you. The reason most people fail in network marketing as coaches, because they refuse to own the identity. They're trying it. Or the world knocks them off course, like what happened to me. The reason I haven't been coaching, I'll tell you guys that story tomorrow. I basically had a nervous breakdown. Not even kidding. Shaved my head. Some of you were there for it. Okay. So the last thing you're going to do after you look for new platforms, either speaking engagements, podcasts, local, and you don't have to speak there. You need to go attend there. I also want you to start scheduling your 5 must-dos a day. Your 5 must-dos a day. What has to be done today? So for me, what do you think had to be done today? This. I had to do this today. What do I have to do after this today? Get into my DMs because I'm going to have a whole bunch of them. Right? What else do I have to do? Posting for tomorrow. So this is a profit producing activity, but so, right? The planner. Regina, you're going to kill me. The new one's not done yet. I have a planner, you guys. It's a 6-figure business in a book. And I haven't done 2026s because I clearly was not even going to be doing it. So now I have to go do that. So that's another thing I have to do. But we're fine. It's fine. So I am going to put together the pages, the planning pages though, outside of the planner. So you guys, what you want to do is write down your 5 things. I recommend doing it the night before. So for example, we'll take Diane as an example because she's got a massive team. She's doing stuff all the time. She's got calls and events and yada, yada, yada. So at the end of her day, she can write down the 5 things that are going to move her business, have to be done tomorrow. You will start to notice if you're filling your time with things that are not moving the needle. And that's the trap for I'm not saying that about Diane. I'm saying you all will notice if you keep writing down management activities, We have a problem. Because in business, it's never where you fell, it's where you slipped. What people do is they work, and they start getting paid. And they work and they work and they work and they get paid. And they work and they work and they work and they get paid. And even if you have a coaching business, you'll get to where you're making, 6 figures. You've worked your butt off to get there, like meaning you're doing all the contacting and selling and doing all the things and you've got the thing, right? And then you stop doing those things and you go into management mode. And guess what happens?
What?
Wah, wah, wah. You will lose your momentum. You will lose your income. You will have it go down. I don't mean to scare you. I'm just trying to prepare you. Okay? And finally, CEO workday. That's the final thing. You write down your 5 things. And then at the end of your day, when you are falling asleep, you are going to rewrite in your mind anything that did not go the way you wanted it to. If you had an experience, if you had a moment of, frustration, if you sent out signal or thoughts that you aren't proud of, if you didn't have a sale close the way you wanted, if something's not, whatever it is, your millionaire self is going to rewrite that story to go the way you want it to go. Do you know why? Because whatever you think about comes about. And you can't change the past, but you can change how you feel about the past. See, what most people do is they have an accident, they have a mistake, they have a misstep, something falls apart, doesn't work, whatever. And they have a feeling about it. Shame, guilt, frustration. And they go to sleep on that feeling. And you've been told that feeling doesn't matter. The truth is that feeling is the fuel for your future. So whatever you go to sleep feeling is what you wake up producing. That's why I say people can talk themselves in or talk themselves out. You talk yourself into your own success in your own life and your own results, or you talk yourself out. That's why you never listen to yourself. You only talk to yourself. You have to rewrite each night the things that didn't go the way you wanted to go the way you wanted and feel the feeling of it going that way. Again, you can't change the past. If you yelled at somebody, you can't change that. But you can step into gratitude around that situation, even if it's just gratitude and in your mind's eye, you didn't yell at them and you're so grateful that they brought that to your attention. Like you guys, we have to become master creators. Master creators. We are the foundation. We are it. You are it in your own life. So I hope you guys enjoyed today. We're 6 minutes over. VIPs, we are meeting. You will check your email. As a matter of fact, if you got started with VIP, I'm going to stay on here just for a minute. I want you to go check your email now because it is a separate Zoom link. And you need to go register for that Zoom link to be admitted into that. It's not this room. Okay, so go check right now. Make sure you find them to stay on here to make sure y'all got it. And then tomorrow, we're going to be going through your brand identity now that you have your Millionaire Breakthru. And we are going to be going through the Empire Money Method. And this is literally how your millionaire mindset sets up your millionaire brand and then executes in the market to get you to where you want to go. The Empire Money Method is a 6-step system for online success. And by the way, I am going to be putting together a book launch club, which I'm excited for. So you guys are going to get copies and all that stuff. So if you want to be a part of that, you can drop book in the chat. And, we'll have a way for you guys to get started with that. But I'll send you guys copies and we'll do all the things. Thanks, Jen. Oh, you guys are so awesome. And then, of course, the new podcast is coming. So with that, I love you guys. I'm just going to stay on. VIPs, if you cannot find your VIP link, I need you to tell me now, please. Remember, you're going to go look up support at shescreatinganempire.com. or you could type in VIP would probably bring it up. You cannot find it, Linda. Okay. So Linda, here I'm going to put nobody type for a second. I want you to grab this email. If you need to go, you guys can go now. We are done. I'm just going to make sure that everyone's got what they need for VIP. And if you want to register, you can. So if you go ahead, Linda, and grab that email. You're so welcome, you guys. You guys, I'm so welcome. You're so welcome. Yeah. Or if you can't find it, you can email that email and I'll get it to you, okay? So we will see you guys tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time, 12 o'clock. And poor Amanda keeps getting kicked off. Oh.
It said he went for a walk outside.
Okay. Oh, Amanda, we got you live. Okay. Okay, Naomi can't find it. Okay, so I'm going to stay on here with the VIPs. So if you are not VIP, you can go ahead and jump off. I love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow for part 2, day 2 of Millionaire Breakthru. I'm so proud of you guys and the work that you did today. We'll talk to you soon, okay? Bye for now.